When thinking about sustainable cities of the future, we envision a grid of roads and vertical farms and skyscrapers. But what if a different urban perspective was on the horizon? Saudi Arabia is planning to disrupt the vertical and grid-like trend with the line, the backbone of the Neom megalopoly. At a cost of $500 billion, they're touting this 100-mile-long linear city as the most sustainable urban complex in the world, and one with some cutting-edge renewable technologies, like generating fresh water in a desert. But will it work? Let's explore if Neom is a flight of fancy or the future of sustainable cities. Besides Saudi Arabia, the line will cross Egypt and Jordan. In fact, the Neom project also includes a construction of a bridge across the Strait of Tiran, connecting Saudi Arabia with Egypt. Expected to host 1 million people, the Neom urban design will feature 3 levels. The top ground layer will be a fully pedestrian area with green parks and 0 cars. Just underneath, they'll build a services area including shops and offices. At the very bottom, the spine will connect the city's modules along the line with AI-driven vehicles, metro, and ultra-high-speed trains. You're supposed to be able to buzz through the whole route within 20 minutes. The project has some crazy flights of fancy, from creating the illusion of a giant artificial moon using drones, to cloud seeding to produce rain. But let's just set those aside and focus on the more meaningful approaches. One of the big goals of Neom's designers will create a renewable oasis. They claim clean energy will produce fresh water from the sea and power the whole infrastructure. Now that all sounds great, but there are some environmental and social impacts to consider. The line will cross Jabal Alaz, the almond mountain in Arabic. It's one of the most popular tourist sites in Saudi Arabia. The Neom website acknowledges that this area is a challenge for accessibility and will likely be the least populated zone of the whole infrastructure, but the line is already impacting people who live in the area. Saudi forces are trying to deport around 20,000 Al-Hawattat tribe members. I apologize if I mispronounced that name. After the suspicious death of a tribe activist in 2020, human rights organizations called for a UN investigation. On top of all that, is the Neom project even economically viable? Research conducted just after the Neom's official launch reveals some economic challenges. Despite the fancy website, the many advertising videos, and the intention of turning Neom into a free trade zone, some experts point out that the Saudi government will have a hard time attracting private investors. That's because of the lack of information about the city development, excessive bureaucracy, and unclear regulations. Despite the Crown Prince's enthusiasm and his over-the-top presentation, many scientists are skeptical about his dream coming true. Like Mark Laverne, the director of the National Center for Scientific Research, who believes a project like Neom isn't viable from an economical and technological point of view in such a short time. So does that mean Neom is just a public relations strategy or a real project?